Hola y bienvenidos a la Daily Hustle. Soy Enrique Byrnes y presidente es el mejor cerveza. No abate por No Filter Network. Miguelito San Dieguito, not with us today. Will the Thrill, not with us this morning. But we come on here each and every single morning, as you guys know. And we not only salute our boys properly, but we salute each and every one of you with foam fingers. Yes, 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 yes. Woo! Remember this, folks, when we are juiceful, we are useful. And when we are juiceless, we are fucking useless. A very pleasant good morning to you on the 9th day of October, 2024. Today's Daily Hustle, which just went out. Stop planning and start living. Buenos dias. Today is Wednesday, October 9th, as I just mentioned, 2024. And today would have been John Lennon's 84th birthday. Daily Hustle quote of the day: life is what happens while you are busy making other plans. John Lennon. Daily Hustle translation: most of us have a lot going on in our lives, fearing we were put on this earth for a purpose and the fact that our time is limited. Planning is a very good thing that has the ability to organize the inevitable chaos. That said, way too often we become slaves to our schedules and race from one meeting or activity to the next without ever immersing ourselves in the current moment. In essence, we fail to build any meaningful connections with other individuals as well as the actual work or task at hand. We also become so caught up in our schedule we are unwilling to veer from that we naively pass up on countless other opportunities with the potential to greatly enhance our lives. Damn it, Byrnes. I got a lot of shit going on. How can you possibly expect me to immerse myself in the moment when all I can think about is getting to the next one? Our guy. Good morning, Mr. Supersoft. I understand it's easier said than done, but slow the fuck down. Feel the air pass through your nostrils. Listen real hard to the universe that's always talking and has a ton to say. Like our dude Johnny said, life is happening, but ultimately it's up to us to stop planning and start fucking living. EV. P.S. Click pick below for a breakdown of last night's NLDS controversial base running and blue link for today's Daily Hustle pod that's here. So anyhow, that is true. In our lives, I think we get so caught up in this is a plan, this is a regimen, we got to go from here to here to here to here to here. And it's really a delicate balance because I probably know people in my life that are overplanners. Not I probably know. I know people in my life that are massive overplanners. I know one guy that literally plans his morning shit. Not kidding you. So I also know other people that are so laissez-faire and they don't plan shit. And it's just who they are. What's that balance? I think that we need to find. It has to do with who we are, what we do, and ultimately what optimizes our lives. So yeah, it can be tricky at times because I think schedules certainly help with structure, but at the same time, I find myself often like racing through life and this and that. It's just like, no, slow it down. I paddleboard the other day. And for the longest time, it was all summer. Like, I hadn't paddleboarded all summer. And I got it, I don't know, call it like mid last summer, and I was going every single day. And it was yesterday, 2 days ago, Biscuit and I went out there, and it was just one of these moments where I'm like, dude, why am I not out here more? Why am I not experiencing this? You want to talk about coming to the moment? It's just, number one, it's a fantastic workout, right? And we were going from, we launched right in Kings Beach, and we went out to the point almost like where the Calneva was. And, we were messing around, like Colton got on his stomach and was paddling. I'm like, oh, let me try. Now I'm doing this, and I found this little slot on my board I didn't even really know existed. I put the paddle up there. It was just really fucking cool. And I think sometimes, and then you're out there. I mean, obviously, and I say this about pickleball too. You'll find activities you could do where you lose sense of time, right? You're not looking down at your watch and it's, like whatever. It's, you're going to do it for a certain amount of time, but you completely lose sense of time. When I played baseball, I completely lost all sense of time. Pickleball, same thing. 3 hours later, you're like, damn, I've been playing for 3 hours. You go out for a paddleboard. You look down, you're like, dude, we've been out here for an hour already? So those are the meaningful things I think that allow us to immerse ourselves in that moment. And then when you run into a friend, when you meet somebody new, take the time, look into the whites of their eyes, listen. That's how meaningful relationships are built. And more than anything, too, it's not only how you make other people feel, but it's also how it makes you feel. So then it bleeds into every other aspect of your life. Positivity, love, all of it. Okay, I got the Mets hat on. This is a team of destiny. This is a corduroy hat, by the way. I mean, there's not too many corduroy hats out there, I imagine. But I watched them last night, and number one, they just might be the better team. I mean, I think we can talk team of destiny all we want, but this is a lineup that's deep. This is a pitching staff that continues to perform. The Jesse Winker bomb yesterday just brought a smile to my face. This guy was a raging psycho in the first series, just questioning, like, what is he doing and why is he doing it? Obviously, he just plays with that sort of emotion. Sean Casey was telling me that when I talked to him on the phone the other day, but they get the 7-2 victory over the Phillies. And so now you have two teams, the Phillies and the Mets. The Phillies and the Dodgers. Obviously, after the Dodgers lost to the Padres last night, these are two teams with World Series aspirations. I mean, World Series or bust type of thing. If they lost in the NLCS, it was going to be a disappointment. Yet here they are on the brink of extinction in the NLDS. And it just goes to show you, once again, it's these teams that sit around and don't play for almost a week that have a really difficult time. And last year, it was the Phillies that actually eliminated the Braves because they got to play that wild card round. Well, now we're watching both the Mets and the San Diego Padres, who got to go through that wild card round, are in a great position to move on to the National League Championship Series. This is for real. I don't really know how to perfectly explain it, but imagine you do something every single day and you're used to doing it every day, at least 6 days a week, and then all of a sudden, boom, it stops. And for almost a week straight, you get out of your routine. And no matter what, no matter how much you want to practice and everything else, those game reps are just different. And especially because hitting a baseball is such a complex move where you have neurons firing in your brain that boom, 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 whatever, to hit a 100-mile-per-hour fastball and a 90-mile-per-hour slider. And then, of course, you get righties, you get lefties, and everything. And all of a sudden, you're not seeing that on a daily basis. It fucks with you. And it clearly has with both the Phillies and the Los Angeles Dodgers. So last night's game in San Diego, the Padres fans showed up. They showed out. It seemed like they kept it classy, San Diego. A little ode to our guy, Ron Burgundy, of course. But that base running egregious non-call was one of the worst that I've ever seen, with gigantic implications on the game. I keep thinking to myself, we're in a day and age with instant replay and hopefully soon the electronic strike zone, where umpires can't keep fucking this up. Last night, they did. I don't care. I've heard all different sides. I've played this game at the highest level, 11 seasons in the big leagues. I analyzed it professionally and still do today, ever since. So here it is, folks. They fucked that one up. They really did. When you start running, you establish your baseline, you're running into second base, right? You can start from anywhere. Well, Machado was 4 feet in off the base. He's then running to second base. He veers inside, which is okay to do. But he veers inside when the ball's hit with clear intentions of disrupting the throw. He comes all the way in a foot onto the grass, gets in the way of the throw from Freddie Freeman, who was throwing from his knees. Freeman actually makes a perfect throw, maybe just a little bit off. Machado gets in the way of it. You cannot intentionally get in the way. So everyone's going to say, well, he wasn't looking, so he didn't know. Bullshit. Of course he knew. Now, the only thing you could tell me is that there needs to be better clarification of the rule. And this is certainly why we don't leave this up to human beings with subjective opinions. This needs to be objective. Unfortunately, there's still some subjectivity to this call. It did not get argued, which was baffling to me, and it never got reviewed. Even to the point where the umpires could have just come together. Even if you're not going to review it, you still had the first base umpire. You had the second base umpire. You had the third base umpire. You had the left field umpire. You had the right field umpire. You had all these umpires that had these views of what had taken place. What they should have done at least was sit there and fucking talked about it. Well, they didn't. And that one non-call led to 6 runs. All 6 of the Padres runs. Give the Padres credit. Give Fernando Tatis credit. Give Manny Machado credit for getting in the way and making it happen. I would have done the same thing. I would not have gone all the way to the grass. I would have, boom, here. I come inside, just inside the grass, make sure I'm going into the bag. But I certainly would have, I would not have gone that far. I would have tried to get hit, though. So I'm not blaming him. He did what he should do. I was listening to, I think it was A-Rod who said it last night. He's like, dude, he's like, you know, even A-Rod, who you know A-Rod would do some shit like this, but even A-Rod said, hey, you know, I'm going to try it, and if I get called out, I'm going to get called out because I'm going to be out anyway. So it's a brilliant move to go ahead and try to do it. And I mean, we can say brilliant all we want. Every player on that Padres team, every player on that Dodgers team is going to pull the same move. I think Manny is the only one that was so, I don't know, bold. That would be bold enough to go a foot in the grass. You rarely ever see it, especially when you start about 4 feet on the other side. So to follow the veer, it's illegal. It is simply fucking illegal. That is it. All right, 4 games firing today. There is a chance I come back on in the afternoon. Game 1 is going to start at 12:08 p.m. Pacific time. The Cleveland Guardians travel to Detroit. That series is tied 1-1. Be interesting to see what happens with that. It is Cobb against Montero. You then have the Philadelphia Phillies at the New York Mets, 2:08 p.m. Pacific time. That's going to be a 5 o'clock start in New York. You wonder if the shadows will come into play for that one, which typically leads to a low-scoring game. You then have the New York Yankees, who will be in Kansas City tonight, 4:08 p.m. Pacific time. That's 6 o'clock local time in Kansas City. It's going to be Schmidt against Lugo. That's a series that I could see going to 5 games, as well as that Detroit one. I think the American League's super up for grabs. It really is. And then tonight, center stage once again, 6:08 p.m. Pacific time, the Los Angeles Dodgers and the San Diego Padres. I can't get enough of this series. I really can't. Dodgers starting pitcher tonight, TBD. You ever heard of him? TBD. Dylan Cease on the mound for the Padres. So we'll see who the Dodgers end up throwing. Basically, probably just a bullpen game. I got to imagine. John Davis, good morning to you. Yes. Hi, honey. Thank you for letting me know that the volume is working. Michelle Drew, good morning. Byron, buenos dias. And John says Dave needs to stop managing. I don't know, dude. I look, I think Dave, at some point, he's got to get over this hump, right? But then again, he won a World Series 2020. They do a terrific job in the regular season. As good, if not better, than anybody has ever done. Literally, like that good. Him and Bob Guerin have got something figured out. They perfectly run the marathon. The sprint, the 100 meters, that is the playoffs, they have a difficult time with. And I think what happens is that when you play 162, you don't have to break from the mold because the law of averages is going to work out. When you're sprinting the 100-meter race, it's the playoffs, all kinds of shit could go wrong. I mean, there is just one little thing happens and it could totally derail it. So it's not a law of averages. It's who's hot right now. So you can't play for the long run. You play for the short run. I mean, every year the San Francisco Giants won the World Series, they were not the best team. Now, they were at the end because they were the last team standing, but during the regular season, they certainly weren't. One of the years they were the wild card. I mean, you go back and look at the wild card, 2002 Angels. I mean, that was another one. This isn't about, Texas Rangers from last year, too. This isn't about being the best team start to finish. It's about being the best team right now and putting your guys in position to succeed. So, John, yeah, he says, I don't mean quit the game, just back it down during the playoffs. I don't know, man. I've never been there. I've never managed in the playoffs. I think you have to go with your gut instincts in the playoffs. I think you really have to make some decisions. I remember John Farrell making some decisions that I'm like, dude, what are you doing? One of them was to sit Daniel Nava in favor of Johnny Gomes. And I love Johnny Gomes too. Root for Johnny Gomes. But Daniel Nava hit 300 on the year. Daniel Nava was hot. Johnny Gomes ended up being the fucking difference maker. Sometimes you just make these decisions. You have these gut instincts, and you got to roll with them. The one thing that was baffling to me is that the fact that DR didn't argue that last night. I just don't understand it. I really don't understand it at all. And I know Bob Guerin really well. I'm shocked that Bob didn't say, like, Doc, you got to get out there. Like, boom. I mean, Rojas, the shortstop, was immediately pointing at Machado like, yo, like, that's not legal. No fucking way. So, anyway, everyone have a fantastic day. Good chance we come back on later tonight and get a little more of this action. These alternative broadcasts, super fun. I sit here and enjoy it and call the game and talk to you guys at the same time. So, oh, by the way, we're sponsored by Bet Online. Ooh, sorry about that. A little late, but the number one online gambling destination, Bet Online. Hold on, Leslie. Let me get the script. It's the world's most trusted betting platform, your number one source for everything football, baseball, basketball, whatever. Bet Online has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. Think you know your stuff? Get in on our $200,000 mega contest. Pick 5 games against the spread every week for your chance at weekly prizes and a share of the 200K. When the game's over, head on over to the online casino to get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Bet Online, the game starts here. That's it, folks. Everyone have a fantastic day. Possibly on later tonight with a special edition of a Daily Hustle alternative broadcast. And if not, I'll see you guys tomorrow for tomorrow morning's DH. See ya!